How would you get your supplies back in those days? Your spray cans, your mean streaks?
Well, there's multiple aspects of life. Like back in the days when I was young, like I guess buying, when I was stupid young, like buy them off older kids at school. Like, hey, I got a mean streak for sale. I'm like, I got a couple dollars. Like, I don't even know where to get a mean streak. I'll tell you one day, like I did a lick when I was like 10 years old at a store. I used to be on Melrose and fucking Vermont with two older homies and shit. Like we fucking robbed that motherfucker for like a shitload of mean streaks, like fucking hundreds of shits and markers and shit. Like very, I'm a little kid, like 9, 10 years old. So when they're doing the divvy now, there was like 2 for you, 2 for you, 2 for you, like 1 for you. And I was like, oh, okay, 1. Like I didn't know any better. I should have been like, fuck that. Like we all split the pie equally. But I was ecstatic to have like 30 mean streaks and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like to go home and spice them up and make colors with them and shit and mix them up, you know, because I had nothing else to do. And like all those mean streaks, I went to go burn like in the hills of Elysian Park, tagging on water towers and like park benches, like, cause I'm like, say, I'm a little ass kid. I'm like 10, 11 years old. You know what I'm saying? I really don't even know real graffitis. I'm still like in the I think I'm in the 6th grade right now. So I'm like 11 years old this time, you know what I'm saying? I really don't even know what graffiti really is. I'm just fucking around.
At some point, you move on to high school, Marshall High, and you join an up-and-coming crew called 2DN. Can you tell us how you joined that crew?
Fuck, that's a crazy one here. I was actually from this other crew called FAC. Me and my friends made up, not the FAC that came like later than the 2000s. It was another one. It was a bunch of little kids in it. And I guess all the FACs were pretty much like just straight taggers. Like these guys had like no graffiti. They had never seen subway art. They had no aspiration to do anything of color other than like a black and white tag. And it was just like, I would see these dudes I was from this crew with, and there was this like 2 or 3 other cats that like hung around us, but they weren't from FAC. They were from 2DN. Like, I can't remember what the fuck it even stood for. Fucking, but it was like, they saw the subway art vision, I guess, you know, and they were like, oh, this is dope graffiti and 3Ds and color. And I was like, oh, I lean towards that. That's pretty dope, you know what I'm saying? Like fucking, and so like, that's how I ended up that crew. That crew was like 3 people and lasted for like another year, like another 4-week run. I really didn't, you know, like.
Do you remember some of the members of that crew at that time when you were into it?
It was this one guy Afro, this one guy Psych, this one other dude, I forgot his fucking name, big black, I want to say Eclipse or some shit. No, not the Eclipse, it was a big black dude or some shit. He was like a big fat black dude. He went to Marshall and shit. And Davlin, the girl, you know, she was from that shit with me too. And I want to say it was like, no, you know what? You're thinking 2DN. I wasn't from 2DN. I was from 5DC. That was the crew. And Davlin was from 2DN. Yeah, I was there from 2DN. I was from 5DC. And that was like, because she was from both those crews, that's where the smear. So I got to correct that for the camera. Yeah, I was like, 2DN, that doesn't sound right. I remember the crew, but I wasn't from it. Yeah, 2DN was Davlin and SEA and Prin and all them and Clef, and then that was 2DN's. Yeah, I wasn't from 2DN, I was from 5DC.
How do you join 5DC?
It was just like, we were sitting there like, hey, you should be in 5DC, you're dope, you're in 5DC. It was like, that was as easy as that, you know? The other stupid ass crew we were in, the FAC shit, we were check-cording fools in, we were like jumping fools in, like check-cording fools out, like most retarded shit. Like, what the fuck, like, any crew, they said before, any crew that jumps you in, what kind of, it's not a gang, like, what kind of retarded shit is that? It was a bunch of high school kids, like, student, like 8th, 9th grade shit, like retarded shit.
Do any of the members from 5DC gain your kind of fame? Can you mention a couple of those names?
The only person that did shit out of the crew was myself and Davlin, that was it, like, you know? That was it. All the people, if I could tell you, there's a whoosh, whoosh, they fizzled away. Like, graph isn't for everybody. It's a couple summers, and they said, fuck it, this isn't for me. Not to knock what they're doing. And I know that one dude, Afro, is really into hip hop and shit. I remember going with him down and get like the Redman, Method Man tape release signed down there in Washington. Like, he was super into hip hop. So like, no doubt, he's still doing something with hip hop. He might be a producer, a DJ. I don't know, fuck, I haven't seen this dude in like 20 plus years. 25 years by this point. Who knows what he's doing, but God bless him if he's out there. I hope he's alive and well, and hopefully he's still doing something hip-hop orientated, because his mind was there. He liked that shit like that, so, you know.
All this is taking place in the mid-90s.
It's like the early 90s. It's like Marshall, it's like 93, 94, it's like 93.
This was around the tag banging era in graffiti.
The real hard tag banging, the hardest stuff, that's how I was in junior high, like the 90s, like early 90s, 91, 92, that was like John Burroughs shit. That shit was fucked up. Like, I ain't even sugarcoat that shit. That shit was fucked up. I seen both sides of the fence. I was really cool with side A at school, and I lived over here by side B and shit. Like, I knew homeboy from side A in this class, and I was homeboy from side B, and that shit was fucked up. Like, I don't know. If you saw really hard tag banging shit, that shit was fun. I never got involved. I'm not sitting there like, oh, I survived on a gang. I'm not a gang banger. I'm glad I didn't get caught up in that shit, because most of those dudes who got up in that shit bang now. That shit got fucked up. It took a lot of lives of people out there. A lot of people got put in the neighborhoods they probably wouldn't have been. I know a lot of dope artists that had they not got caught with that gang shit, they would have still been dope ass artists. But hey, you know, the hood called and fucking they answered. What the fuck you do, you know? Anyone who remembers that shit in Los Angeles, tag banging was fucked up. Whether you were on the good side, or in the end, it's fucked up. It was just fucked up. Shitty.
How did you manage to stay away from that violence?
It's not, I'm not saying I totally eluded all of it. I'm not saying I was like some little angel in the corner. Like, that's not for me. I mean, just like, maybe because I don't even know, really. I don't know. Luck, fucking guardian angels. I don't know. How do any of us avoid anything? Who knows? Like, just like energy, I guess. Like, ooh, like, I see what they're doing over there. It seems kind of cool, but maybe I don't want to be part of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you see 13, 14-year-old kids with assault rifles and shit, and like, fuck, you're like, it's kind of an eye-opener, you know what I'm saying? It kind of fucks you up, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you have to have a screwdriver and a hammer in your backpack, but yet you're not a carpenter, and it's like, why do you have a screwdriver? Like, oh, so I can climb up poles. But in reality, in my mind, it's like, in case someone tries to like hurt me, I gotta protect myself. It's like, I'm not out there playing the fucking offense trying to go fucking get fools, but fools are out there trying to get you, so what the fuck do you do? Like, you know, you're just a kid trying to go to school, and like, what are you gonna do? Get in your fucking cell phone app and like call for help? This is the 90s. There ain't shit. Like, you're in the streets, like, protect yourself, you know? That's, you know, survival out there. It's fucked up, but a kid has to go to school and risk getting jumped, be mistaken for some guy from some other crew and shit, or friends of friends, but that's what it was, and fucking, you know? How did I make it? I got fucking lucky. I was, like I said, right place, right time, and fucking I got lucky, I guess, in the air, because not everybody did.